So there is a difference between ability and skill. Do you see any difference?
Yes. Ability is how do we apply that skill in a particular way.
No, you are reversing. Ability is that you are able to do. For instance, a lot of examples are there. All of us can run, but can all of us run in an Olympics? It's like a difference between an amateur and a professional. An amateur can do what a professional can do, but not in the way the professional can do. Professional knows how to do it so systematically that the number of errors are negligible in a professional, whereas an amateur, by chance he may win something, but still a lot of errors will also be there. So all of us can run, but we cannot run in any kind of competition. All of us know how to use a knife, right? So given a knife, all of us know how to cut a vegetable. Does it mean that all of us can become surgeons and then conduct surgery? If that is the case, none of us will be alive, because if all of us become surgeons, we will kill each other and all of us will become, there will be nobody, because all of us will be dead bodies. Okay? So a surgeon is a skilled person who knows exactly how to do, how to go about it, systematically. You need the training to become a surgeon. Just because you can cut a vegetable doesn't mean that you can become a surgeon. This is an ability which anybody can learn, anybody will have. Should we stop at the ability level or should we increase it to a skill level? Is the question that we need to ask. So what do you think?
We need to increase it to skill level.
Skill level. So that we become proficient in what we do. And we can get all of what we read. Not only little of what we read, all of what we read. Okay? So another example is like kicking a ball. All of us can kick a ball, but can we kick a ball just like a professional where he aims exactly to the goal? Or he aims so that the pass goes exactly to his own teammate? So it must be, if you are watching football, you will know how important kicking a ball is. For instance, recently I was just reading, a football player in one match, he will be running something like 7 miles. In just 1.5 hours, he will be running 7 miles. If you don't have the capacity to run 7 miles, do you think you will become a football player? You can only become a spectator. Okay. So there are additional abilities which are equal to make it a skill. Several abilities put together will make a skill. And all these abilities need to be practiced so well so that it becomes a skill. And as he says, the skill becomes automatic. There is one organ in the brain called cerebellum, which is a mini brain, which takes care of the smooth coordinated functions of the body. So once it is programmed there, it becomes so smooth. So playing a game, it could be walking, it could be any of the things that we do normally without actually giving attention to. It happens on its own, automatically. We don't have to bother too much about it. How many of us, when we are walking, are bothered about whether we are using our left leg or right leg? Do we say left leg come front, at the same time right leg go back? We will not bother. We just walk. We will only see where we are walking. Walking becomes automatic. Are you following this?
Yes.
That is what is regulated by the cerebellum. It takes care. Totally it does on its own. Which is why when we are walking, if the moment we are conscious of something, we will slow it down. Because we are doing an automatic process. So for instance, suppose you learn a game for the first time, or let us say you are learning driving for the first time. Each action is very, very difficult. But once you learn, everything becomes very easy. Suppose first time you are riding on a bike, leaving the clutch itself is so hard that every time you leave the clutch, the engine goes off. But once you have learned, you don't even remember leaving the clutch. And in first gear you can go any longer a distance without even bothering about the clutch, how you are using the clutch. So to that extent you have total control over, which is where it is subconsciously done rather than consciously done. So a skill is something which is being relegated to the subconscious so that automatic process happen on its own. Now take back what I have shown, what I have told earlier. Are we able to read subconsciously? So that just we read whatever and automatically things go to us. No. Are we able to write automatically so that we only think about what we are writing and writing becomes automatic? No. Every letter we will have to see and we will scratch so many times, we will make so many mistakes and then we will redo the whole thing. So this difficulty is there because it is still under conscious control and has not been made into a skill. It is still under the ability. All of us can read, but very few can actually read it as a skill. We are able to read, but we don't have the skill to read. Okay? So our job now is to convert our reading ability into reading skill. And this is what my measurement has shown. The reading ability, the retention, I have measured across population, right from the student population up to working population, people working with 15 years of experience in a very responsible position. They are getting something like 30-35%. Some of the students are getting 50-55%, maximum 57%. So if it is an ability, maximum is only 57%. If it is a skill, it will always be 100%. Which is preferable? Skill is preferable. So that is what, once we learn that, it becomes automatic so that we don't have to bother. All our job is to find out what we need to read it, retain. Today what is happening, we read everything, but we don't know how much to remember, what not to remember, what to actually read, what not to read. Because many a times we read the same thing over and again because we have forgotten we have read it earlier. How many times we read the same thing without knowing we have already read it. After finishing reading, we say, maybe I have read it somewhere. Where? I don't know. So suppose you had it as a skill. Even when you read the first sentence itself, you know you have already got it. You don't have to waste your time rereading it. You can skip that and say, okay, already I know this, let me know something I do not know. Okay, which is why I have given you one of my secrets in my 59 secrets to studying. Like, know what you know and know what you do not know. Do you remember that? Know what you know what you do not know. If you do not know what you do not know, you will not know what to do with what you know. Which is where the greatest problem is. So once you have this under control, if I know what I know and if I also know what I don't know, I can only go to what I don't know and make it known to me. If I don't know what I don't know, I will not know what to do. Because everything I will go through and then try to mix it up, which is why we get confused all the time. Any question we read, until we read the question we are thorough. But the moment we read the question, confusion will come, especially if it is objective type where 4 choices are given. So if they have not given the 4 choices, probably would have written the correct answer. The moment we look at the 4, immediately confusion will start. Which is why, because we have not actually mastered it. We have just known it, but we have not mastered it. So the essence of a skill is to master. So how do we do that? What are the things, what are the advantages of reading and comprehension is that we will not only know what it is, at the same time we are able to learn it properly. Learning is something that happens where there is a change in behavior. So we define learning as a relatively permanent change in behavior as a result of practice or experience. Okay? So learning happens, there is a change either in our thinking, there is a change either or in our perception, or in our emotion, or in our action. If there is no change in any of these, then the learning has not occurred. We just know. Just knowledge is not going to benefit us basically because we are not using that knowledge for ourselves. So at least you should change our thought process. I was thinking like that earlier, now that I know, I am changing that thinking. But if you don't change the thinking and if you still know, it doesn't help us. For instance, let us say, I know a lot about swimming, but I don't know how to swim. Now all my knowledge, do you think is going to be useful to me? No. I can lecture about swimming, I can teach hundreds of people about how to swim, but when I am put into the water, I will drown. So this is what happens basically. So it helps you to know, it helps you to remember, it helps you to think, It helps you to evaluate. So evaluate to judge in the sense what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, what is the merits, what are the demerits, etc. And then to communicate, where communication becomes the essential thing for our day-to-day living.